16 and stripping. And it's legal.
As long as she's home by 11 p.m. It's not normal for a 16-year-old to say that she wants to be a stripper.
I like dancing.
Have you ever had sex for money? Don't you find this odd that a father is okay with his daughter stripping?
I think if she wants to do that, then she should be able to do that.
Men looking at your teenage daughter, you are okay with that.
Now on Tyra.
About a loophole in a Rhode Island law. I cannot believe this, you guys. Listen to this. A 16-year-old teenager can literally take her clothes off and work in a strip club as long as she's home by 11 p.m. So you can strip, but you have to have a curfew and get home on time. That's crazy. When I heard that, I was like, it's crazy. And since this story came out, teenage girls have been flocking everywhere across our country to strip clubs to break into the stripping industry. Check this out.
People say that the adult industry is dangerous. I say that life is dangerous. When I was growing up, I wanted to make a difference. But as it turns out, I do a lot better on a pole than in a school. I'm a dancer and I dance. You know, I dance in clubs and I do private bachelor parties. I prefer to work in fully nude clubs. I don't know, it doesn't faze me. I had a pretty normal childhood. Nothing too traumatic, nothing too detrimental. Well, I wasn't nervous the first time I stripped. I had like no problem getting on a pole and just taking my clothes off. However, I was nervous when I went to get my first lap dance. Well, a lap, you sit, you grind. I figured that out, but I didn't know at first. I just did it. To be a stripper, you need to be a strong person. You need to be able to deal. You gotta try not to let it affect whatever morals you have left. I never try to get into my customers' heads, only their wallets. I'm afraid of things, sure, but I don't give in to fear. I think when you're gonna die, you're gonna die. So whenever it comes, I'm ready for it. I'm sure that there's people out there who think that my morals aren't really the best. At the end of the day, I pay my bills and stand on my own 2 feet, and I don't care.
So you're so young, you're a teenager. When did you say, I want to be a stripper, and why?
Well, why not? You know, I've always felt really natural. I've always thought I was really good at being naked. It was getting really natural to me, you know?
Really good at being naked. What does that mean as a 16-year-old saying that you're really good at being naked? I was like, I'm 16 and I'm really good at English class. You know, that's like what I was thinking back then.
Well, I was thinking that at points too, but it was always just, you know, I was born naked, and I'm very comfortable with myself. You know, I think I look good. I'm okay with that. I like dancing, you know.
Tell me what happened, like when you said you were a girl that takes dares.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know when you were a kid, like they would say, do this, for instance.
Oh yeah. When I was younger, I mean, you know, when I was in 5th grade, like I took my top off, like my bathing suit top off for $20, or it's always like eating ketchup for $5, or throwing myself out of a tree for this or that, or.
Okay, now everybody at home is wondering right now, what happened? Like, so, what did you go through as a kid? Anything, any pain, anything?
No, I mean I had a normal childhood. You know, I grew up.
Normal's relative, though. So normal to me could be different than normal to you.
Right. But to me, it was normal.
Yeah?
And that's, I think, what matters.
What are some of the normal things that happened in your life that maybe other people would say, ooh, that's pretty serious?
Well.
But normal to you?
Normal to me. Well, I live in America. My parents are divorced. Surprise there. I went to Disneyland. You know, I went to school. Normal.
Okay, so you say normal, but it is not normal for a 5th grader to take her top off for $20. It's not normal for a 16-year-old to say that she wants to be a stripper.
Well, I don't know. They're flocking pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, but it's not normal. That's why we're talking about it. We're not doing a show about teenagers taking, you know, the SATs, because that is normal. Do you understand? We're doing something that's abnormal and something that we want to stop because it's not normal. It's not healthy.
Well,
What kind of lifestyle is important to you? It must be about a lifestyle as well for you.
well, I mean, yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. I like to live comfortably. You know, I have a lot of things that a lot of girls my age don't have. You know, I have, you know, 5 Mustang, and I'm getting ready to buy a Jeep Wrangler, and I've got 2 apartments, and I've got a dining room table, and I've got a big screen TV, and I've got money in the bank, and, you know, all those little things, and that's important to me.
And you strip, but you also do something else?
Yes, I'm a waitress full-time. I work pretty much 7 days a week at this little diner, and I love my job, and I love my customers, and most of my customers, I live in 2 apartments is one where I dance, basically, and then one where I waitress. And it's a small town, they all pretty much know I'm a dancer. Nobody really has an issue with that. I think in the long run it makes more of a difference. Like, it makes me more money than
Okay,
anything.
so do your customers, when you are waitressing, know that you dance? They do know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my regulars and everything,
So
yeah.
I understand that if they tip you good, you do something for them.
Right, I have this thing, I call it $5 tip, $5 pick. And you know, if certain customers leave me like a $5 tip,
When you're waitressing?
when I'm waitressing, yes, then I'll send them like the pick of the day. It could be anything. It could be, you know, it could be me naked. It could be me doing something. It could be a bottle of mayonnaise, just whatever I'm feeling. But at the end of the day, it's a difference between like $100 and $160 or $180. And that's the difference between a car payment or this or that.
And how old are these men that you're sending these pictures to?
Oh, it varies. Anywhere from, you know, I've got a couple little 19-year-old, 20-year-olds in there. I've got some older in their 40s men that like it.
And then when you're dancing, when you're stripping, how old are those men that you're dancing and giving lap dances to?
They're mostly older. I deal mostly with older men, upper 40s, 50s. But I have younger guys too that like me because I'm young and they can relate.
Do the older guys like you because you look so young? Well, you are young.
Well, yeah, I am young. I definitely think that's part of it. I mean, right now it's all about the 15 and 16-year-olds, so I think that they like that.
Have you ever had sex for money?
I have never had sex for money. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't have sex for money. I never have. It would just have to be, thank you. It would just have to be the right amount of money.
And what's
And
the
the right time?
what's the right amount of money?
Probably like $1,000, I'd say. And it would have to be the right situation, and I mean, there would have to be protection and everything involved.
Is there anything that you will not do for money?
Yeah, I'm sure there's things that I wouldn't do for money, but I mean, porn definitely isn't one of them. I would do porn in a heartbeat. Just waiting for like the opportunity, really. I think it would be great to only have to work a couple nights a week and be able to still live well throughout the month and pretty much live anywhere you want. And I generally hook up with people anyway. You know, I have relationships with boys, I have relationships with girls. I am bisexual.
You're saying a million things. She's saying like a trillion things right now. I'm just like, I can't even jump in. Does anybody, we have to take a break, but before we do, anybody in the audience want to say anything to Joanna? What's your name?
Karen,
Karen, what do you want to say?
how can you want to be famous this way? People won't remember you for being smart and pretty, but they will remember what you look like naked. You should try having morals.
Or maybe people will remember that I'm smart and funny and I look great naked.
We'll be right back. Up next, don't you find this odd that a father is okay with his daughter stripping?
I just don't have a problem with it, really. I never have. If that's what she chooses to do, then that's her choice.
Have you ever seen your daughter strip? And later. Okay, now I have to ask you, whose man takes longer to get ready?
He irons everything. His undershirt, the overshirt, the socks.
Have you ever ironed your drawers? The state of Rhode Island has made it legal for 16-year-old girls to strip as long as they are home by 11 p.m., which is the curfew, which again I find insane. Joanna is with us now. She is a stripper and she is a teenager. Are you ever worried that you're going to get hurt?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not really a big concern of mine. I understand that the sex industry can be dangerous, but...
Dangerous like what? What types of things have you heard happen to girls?
Oh, you know, rapes, bad situations, pimps, just whatever. But I, first of all, don't put myself in situations like that. I don't put myself in dangerous situations. It's just, it's not smart, and I am fairly smart, believe it or not.
Joanna's father is here, James. James, how do you feel about your daughter being a stripper? Teenager.
Well, you know, she's old enough by law, so I don't have a conflict with that. And she's always been interested in, you know, the life of the party kind of a person, and herself doing her own thing and independent. And I have always encouraged that. So I really basically don't have a problem. If that's what she chooses to do, then that's her choice.
And so you said she's old enough by the law. So say the law changed next week, and it was okay for 13-year-old girls to strip. Because the law says it's okay, then it's okay with you?
Well, unfortunately, the laws are the laws of the land, and we can change them ourselves, but once they're enforced,